Pros and cons, the platform is yours.
And actually, I'm very fortunate because if you saw the timetable, it was going to be 6 presentations in 1 hour. So that means 10 minutes per person, and I'm getting 15 minutes. So this is a bonus. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I was asked to say something about MET projects and networks in UniMET. And I've tried to do that with a few slides, and I'll say a few words. And I'm not going to say very much about myself, other than that I started in this industry in 1967. 67. That was the previous century, and I'm considered one of the young ones in this industry. So we were talking about getting youngsters into this business previously this morning. There is a lot of work and challenge to be done there. Let me see how we go up and down. Yeah, okay. Here I don't have to say anything. This is what you know. This is UniMET project, EU funded. We've come across that this morning a few times. I'm looking for my pointer. You have a pointer? No.
I have one.
You're going to lose the mic.
Thank you. Thanks. And actually, being one of the young ones, I did have one, but I just mislaid it. So, technology is this, you know. And why we're doing this is because of this. And it is always nice that they both abide by the same type of rules. And if they do, then maybe we don't run into this type of catastrophes. The project partners, you know about those as well. And they've been introduced to you, so I don't have to say much about those either. Other than that, this is a, you could say, very good representation across Europe, I would think, of a number of types of organizations involved, especially in this UniMET project. If you try to make UniMET concrete, and that's what I've been trying to do over the UniMET project, these are the, you could say, products, materials that have been developed. SOS, EGDS, Martel C training, and Train for Cs. That is, you could say, concrete material. That is the UniMET. And then there's a philosophy behind it, but that's always difficult to explain, and there's a lot more to say about that. Soon finished will be the Mayday project. Mayday is about e-learning and simulator exercise scenarios based on real accidents. That was the novel part there, where we said, maybe we can learn from accidents, and maybe we can take accident cases and see how we can make that into learning materials, both on full mission simulators and through e-learning modules, running on the same type of platform as Thomas was just explaining to you. And that would be working in a system, something like this, on desktop, logging in, online, possibly in future, maybe with offline materials. Now the other parts, the additional parts to UniMET, elsewhere previously developed materials, programs, etc. There have been a number of attempts in the EU for this purpose, this objective. And we've come, history is repeating itself a bit, and we're trying to modernize what we're making, what we're doing, but a lot of groundwork was ever done, and possibly this could be used as learning for the new materials to be developed. There was a master program, Maritime Standardized Simulator Training Exercises Register, with some contents about scenarios. We've now gone further. We've made real scenarios with a full description of the scenario as well. Meta, harmonization. We used the harmonization word then instead of the unification word at that time. MET, harmonization schemes. MET, that was then the method being used to network towards schools and institutes on various curricula, harmonization, unification, whatever you want to call it, and materials. High Cross 1 and 2 was about harmonizing communication and safety at sea. Also two EU projects funded there with a version 1 and version 2. Out of that came also some standard communication type materials. Out of that came also some standard learning materials. And then there was Securitas Mare 1 and 2, which was trying to take crowded crisis management a step further by introducing also the follow-up activities, the traumatic experience adoption and care for that type of elements that could appear with a crisis if that takes place. So these projects are there as well. Then about the networks, we talked a little bit this morning about maybe there are requirements to see if there are any networks, and this was about the stability, learners or teachers of stability. Is there no platform or forum where they can exchange issues about that particular area of their interest and of importance? These are some of the main worldwide most common ones. IMLA, IMSF, IMU, IMI, and the UniMET. UniMET used to be called the METIA, Association of Maritime Education Training Institutes Asia Pacific, so that's where that originated. And then they expanded because they said, well, there's more interest also into other areas, other fields, so then we'll start calling it global. IMI is a predominantly British Commonwealth organization. IMU, Netherlands Universities. IMSF, Simulator Forum, where users and manufacturers are together in one organization. And then IMLA is the Lecturers Association with the various subcommittees, IMEC, INSSC, and ICERS for the various topics of simulation and maritime English. Again there, these networks are also, you could say, partners or target groups for the UniMET materials, because a lot of them are not so developed as some others are. They can use some assistance. Materials that are available are useful for them, etc., etc. But this is a field definitely to try to tap in on. And then some of the scenarios that we are developing now in the Mayday project are then supposed to be run in simulation, in simulators, whereby the e-learning modules are the basis for these full mission simulator scenarios, whereby the students are supposed to practice a scenario, a case, based on real life, what has ever happened in the past. And then a shot of the internal of a bridge simulator. And then the same on the engine side. Surpass has gone into that a little bit, but maybe there will be a Mayday 2 at one day where we can actually look at the engine room operations taking place, in which we have developed, and I want to show that one slide specifically, the virtual engine room, just like a virtual bridge outside world, we now have the virtual engine room inside world, through which you walk and then operate the engine room components as if you are in a real engine room. And this is projected in a school whereby we don't have the space and funds to put in a full ship's engine, but in this way manage to create the alternative. Where we have been at MIWB in some of the projects, the red ones are the ones that are finished, that we completed, that we were involved in, and the blue ones are the ones that are ongoing. And again there, our core business is maritime education training, and these projects are, you could say, secondary for us. It's another activity that we want to be involved in, but it can never take over our core business, you could say. We have to still do this on the side. So the numbers of projects that we're running is very limited. We've applied now for 4, I think, through various consortia, and I do not hope that they will all be awarded, because they will die. Hopefully 1 or 2 will be awarded, while 1 or 2 of the others are completed, and then in that way we can stay in that particular route, and then we can bring our expertise to the wider audience and then assist in that way, and also learn from out of the other partners. One interesting one, possibly for you, you probably never heard about this one, is JR, which is a shipping company, a local shipping company in the Netherlands. And they also identified the problem of these youngsters not finishing their nautical programs or their maritime programs, or not being attracted into, finding it too theoretical, finding it too much lecturing. And what they said is, we will adopt a number of ships with 10 cadet berths, including full internet, including full communication materials there, so that they can communicate with the school. And we will give them an opportunity in year 1 of their program to already sail on a working commercial vessel, just to see how it is, what it's about. And as such, this is a funded project. We hope to continue this project when the funding runs out. That will be mid-2012. But as such, it's a beautiful filter, because if you then show the young students the real industry, not like on a sailing training vessel or anything like that, but in the real industry, at a very early stage in their program, they either love it and motivates them all the way through, just to rush through and get there as soon as possible, or they say, oh, this is not my bag of meat, I'm going to become a baker. So I'm going ashore, I don't want to do this. So as such, it seems to work out very well. We've had this running now for 3 years, and all our first year students have gone through this. And one of the objectives, obviously, of the company was that they would then attract more officers for themselves. But apart from that, it's also for the whole of the MET industry that the students are, say, more motivated, and in that way make their choice on a more fundamental items and issues. HBO Online, HBO stands for Higher Education, Dutch, Hoger Beroepsonderwijs, online. The word says already what it's talking about, that there will be a similar type of project, including a platform. Again, it's a national project, financed nationally, to assist youngsters or seafarers on board to study for higher qualifications. So those are 2 specific ones in the field of MET in the Netherlands that are taking place. I forgot to introduce myself from the beginning, so I do it afterwards. This is the Netherlands, also known for their windmills, wooden shoes, and tulips. But we do have a little bit of business with MET as well. This is where we are. All the way up there, you all know Rotterdam, you know Flushing, you know Amsterdam, with all its nice and less nice facilities. Terschelling is all the way up there, and this is who we are, and we've been there over 135 years, and we think that'll probably be another 135 years coming.
Thank you very much.